Love this podcast? Support this show through the Acast supporter feature. It's up to you how much you give, and there's no regular commitment. Just hit the link in the show description to support now.
Welcome to the Superconscious Success Podcast, where Jen and her Superconscious Success family co-hosts bring you valuable content each and every week on topics relating to manifestation, spirituality, and most of all, using your superconscious to manifest success in all areas of your life. Now on to today's episode.
Hey Superconscious Success fam, welcome back to another keynote speech of mine where we're actually going to be talking about the 10 steps to manifestation. This is a process that I have actually come up with, and as I was sitting down to write my keynote speech, I was suddenly inspired by Source to delete all of the notes that I had been taking, which was predominantly came from my book, Alter Your Money Mindset, which was a book that I wrote 3 or 4 years ago. Now, this was when I was first starting out in the law of attraction field. And of course, over the last 3 or 4 years, I have developed spiritually so much that my 10-step process has now changed. So you'll see as I go through, because I'm going to first go through the first 10 steps that I'd set up, and you'll see how basic they are in the respect of it was really going predominantly on the law of attraction. And there is way more than just the law of attraction. Yes, the law of attraction exists. All of the laws of the universe exist and they exist together. But I am more of a conscious being now. And so I actually incorporate a lot of the spirituality side into my manifestation now as well. So it was quite funny because I was sitting down and I was typing out all my notes, and then all of a sudden, without me even recognizing it, my finger was on the delete button. And this happens to me a lot because Source inspires me and Source works through me. So Source decided that instead of having notes, I was not going to have any notes for this particular keynote, and I was just going to wing it and just go from the heart and speak from the heart. And often the best speeches are those that actually come from the heart anyway. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to start off by just explaining to you what I had in my first book. And if you've read Alter Your Money Mindset, it's a great book. It has a lot of content on the universal laws. It has a lot of content on the law of attraction, on, the principles of the law of attraction. And it's a great one for you to understand and to read if you're wanting to actually start to manifest money, because it's got a lot of those principles in there. However, having developed over the years and having spirit work through me and Source work through me, I now look at things very differently, and I now start to integrate that into it as well. And I just allow Source to guide me to do what I need to be doing. So when I first started out, the 10-step process that I said was step number 1 was to figure out your limited beliefs and your attitudes. Step number 2 was to focus on your love and your self-talk. Step number 3 was to take responsibility for yourself and where you are in your life at this particular point in time, and then to figure out what desires you're wanting to manifest. Number 4 was to script, to visualize and to feel. Number 5 was to expect that it's going to happen and to trust the universe. Number 6 was to detach and to let go of the outcome. Number 7 was to act as if. Number 8 was to allow and to receive. And then number 9 was to move out of your comfort zone. Number 10 was to take inspired action. Now, a lot of these still apply, and I'm not saying they don't apply. I totally 100% go by the practice of inspired action as opposed to forced action. I believe that we all need to be inspired by Source and by Spirit to take the action that's required to move us towards our greatest good. But it goes a little deeper than that. And that's what this particular keynote is going to be about. Now, if you are wanting to get Alter Your Money Mindset, it is available on Amazon. And I am actually creating a course at the moment for Alter Your Money Mindset, which will be available in a 3-part series on Udemy, if that's something that you're wanting to get a hold of. But I'm also going to be creating a program called Mastering Manifestation, which is actually going to be based more around these 10 principles and more of a deep spiritual guide as to how you can manifest using the laws of the universe, and using that of source and that of spirit. So that is going to be available on the Super Conscious Success Academy website in the coming 3 or 4 months. So if you do want to be notified once that's up and running, then you can go to superconscioussuccess.com and you can actually click on the inner circle and sign up for our inner circle, and we will notify you as soon as that course becomes available. And as a inner circle member, then you will also get special launch prices for that. So that's just a little bit about what's coming up. And so now we're going to go into my 10-step process for manifesting, using not only the law of attraction and the laws of the universe, but using spirit, using your higher self, using your soul to actually manifest in this universe. I am a massive fan of Abraham Hicks, and if you haven't seen Esther's videos, then definitely go and watch them because they are incredible on YouTube. A lot of these principles are based around some of what she speaks about, as well as what I have experienced in my life. Now, if you haven't yet listened to or seen my first keynote speech on connecting, on the power of connection, then go and listen to number 1. Go and listen to the first video for this particular summit, because this is where I talk about the power of connecting with your higher self, the power of connecting with your superconscious and with source. And it is a really, really great introduction as to who I am and the struggles I've gone through in my life and how I've come to be where I am now. So definitely go and check that out. And I hope that you have enjoyed all of the videos up to this stage. And I hope that you really get a lot out of this particular keynote. So let's get started. So step number 1 I'm going to put is discover your purpose. Now, discovering your purpose, it sounds pretty basic. It sounds pretty something that's been out there for a long time, but I'm going to make this really easy for you. And what I'm going to say is I've already got your purpose in mind. I already know exactly what you need to do, what you were put on this earth to do. Every single one of you, there's not one of you out there that does not have this soul purpose or this soul mission in life. And that is for expansion. That is our purpose. Our purpose is that our soul has come into these physical bodies to be able to experience all that life had to offer, to be able to experience the lessons that we needed to learn so that we could expand as a consciousness, so we could expand as a soul. That is why we came into our physical bodies, because we are the non-physical that are actually just having a physical experience. We are eternal beings that are having a physical experience. And so our sole purpose in life is to expand as a consciousness, to expand as a soul, to go through these experiences that actually allow us to grow as a person, to grow as a soul. So that is our primary purpose. That's not to say that you haven't got other purposes that that will dictate whereabouts you lead your life, whereabouts you gravitate towards. One of my primary purposes in this life is the power of connection. It is about connecting other people with each other, but also helping people to connect with source and to connect with their higher self, also known as a superconscious. And so that is one of my purposes. I will be doing this through many different avenues, from Superconscious Success Academies all the way through different collaborations I have going, and lots of other remarkable things like the summits that I have on the go as well. So figure out your mini purposes, I suppose, which fall underneath this major purpose of just expansion. So that's number 1, is to discover your purpose. Number two, we really need to be able to understand energy and quantum physics. And I know that this may sound a bit scary because quantum physics is an area that is very intense. It's an area that takes years and years to truly understand every little bit and piece associated with it. But really, when it comes down to it, is all it is saying is that everything in this world, everything that we see in front of us is energy. We are energy. Our computer is energy. Everything around us is energy. Our emotions, our feelings, the vibrations, everything is energy. And once we understand that, we start to recognize that it doesn't matter what it is. If we can align with the energies of that which we are wanting to manifest, then we're able to bring it from the non-physical realm into the physical realm. Because what the law of attraction states is that like attracts like. So if you can match up with the energy of that particular thing you're wanting to manifest, then you can turn that from the non-physical realm into something that you can see, taste, touch, whatever it is. So this is where the law of attraction really comes into place. This is where my 10-step process will actually allow you to get yourself to a place where you can match up with those energies and you can bring it from the non-physical into the physical. So that's step number two, understand energy and understand quantum physics. As I said, with the keynote speech, I only have limited time because I know that you guys have limited time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through these 10 steps. I'll give you brief breakdowns on these 10 steps, but then within my Mastering Manifestation course, there will obviously be broken down in much deeper depth. So that's step number two, understand energy and understand quantum physics. Now, number three, I'm going to say is to create your manifestation list. Now, how can we manifest if we don't know what it is that we're wanting to manifest? So a great way of doing this is once you figure out what it is that you don't want, then you can figure out what it is that you do want. And when I decided on step number three and figuring out whether I was going to separate it, I decided that I would actually put the topic of contrast into this particular step, because what you need to understand is contrast, which is obviously things that happen to us that we don't necessarily like or that feel uncomfortable or that don't resonate with us. Contrast is there for a reason. And contrast is there to allow us to understand what it is that we don't want, what it is that makes us uncomfortable, what it is that we try our best to get away from. And so once we know what it is that we don't want, then we can figure out what it is that we do want. And then we can create our manifestation list based on that. So what I like to do is I like to create a list of 1,000 things. They've actually done research to show that those billionaires or those very wealthy people, very successful people out there in all areas of their life are those that have the most manifestations on their list. So if you can sit down and, spend a week, 2 weeks, a month, it doesn't really matter. Sit down, have a spreadsheet out or whatever resonates with you and write down as many things you want to create in your life. That can be health, that can be wealth, that can be all of the material possessions, that can be experiences you want to have, that can be feelings you want to have, that can be plants in the garden, it can be a new oven, it can be whatever you want. 1,000 items. And the more that you have, the more that you have to get excited about. And of course, the more you have to get excited about, then the more that's going to come into your existence. And so creating that manifestation list and appreciating contrast when it happens, because often we will experience contrast and then we will get upset by it or we'll get angry by it or we'll go, what have I done wrong? Why is it happening to me? Understand that everything that happens in our existence happens for a reason. Everything that happens because we have a lesson that we are supposed to go through, or it happens in a way, like I said, contrast happens in order to help you determine what it is that you want to manifest. And remember, if you go by Abraham Hicks and you've listened to any of her talks, then you'll understand that there's this big a space called the vortex, which is where everything that you have put out into the universe goes there, good or bad. And so what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to match up your vibrations with whatever is in the vortex, so that it can then come out and meet you and come into the physical realm. Now, when we're going into vibrations a little bit later, where you'll understand that the vortex, to be in the vortex, you have to be a very high vibration. Obviously, when we're in contrast, the vibration is not massively high, but if you can learn to change how you perceive it, then you'll start to recognize that it is there for a purpose, and it's there to allow you to figure out what it is that you're actually wanting to manifest. So I want you to go out and I want you to create your manifestation list. Make it as big as you possibly can, and don't worry about the cost. Don't worry about how much something's going to cost. If you want a $5 million mansion, you put it down there. Create your manifestation list. And once you've done that, then we can go on to step number 4. And step number 4 is changing your story. Now, you would have heard online, if you're speaking to or listening to a lot of different people that talk about manifestation, or they talk about spirituality, they talk about how our story dictates what happens in our life. And it really does. And it does this because of our belief system. And so when we're very little and we're little kids, when we're born into this world, we don't have any of these limited beliefs. We think that everything is possible. I mean, do you remember being a child and you'd be in class and you'd be daydreaming? You'd be daydreaming about being a princess, or you know, if you're a boy, maybe you daydreamed of being a knight. And so we daydreamed and we really believed that anything was possible. It wasn't until our authority figures, like our parents, as well intentioned they were, but you know, if somebody's living in a 3D realm, which, you know, most of us do, we live in the ego realm, then we do. It's about facing reality. And so our parents or our teachers or any of our authority figures will tell us to stop daydreaming. Come on, get back to it. Get back to your work. Stop daydreaming. Stop spacing out. You know, it's not going to get you where you need to get to. But the fact of the matter is, daydreaming is one of the most important things that we can do in life, because it actually allows us to change our story. And so most of our beliefs are actually set in stone by the time we're 7 years old. So you can imagine if up until that stage, our authority figures have continued to say it over and over again, you know, creating different lack beliefs, different poverty beliefs, different beliefs about what was achievable, what we could accomplish, then by the time we reach 7, those beliefs are already set. And so that will dictate how the rest of our life goes. Remember, what we focus on, we attract. So if we're focusing on those beliefs, if those beliefs are so ingrained in us that we continue to focus on the negative, we continue to focus on the fact that money is scarce and there's not enough money out there, and you know, whatever other beliefs have come in place, or you know, you're supposed to get sick as you get older. How many people have heard that? That, you know, I've heard people say, oh, you know, I don't want to get old because I'm just going to be sick and then I'm going to have to go to a nursing home. But you don't have to. That's a belief system that has been instilled in us. We as eternal beings are available. We have the availability to be 100% healthy, 100% prosperous, and not have to deal with any of that. But we need to change our story. If we went through trauma when we were younger, and you would have heard some stories so far and some that are still coming up, as to things that people have gone through and how they have managed to get through it. If you change your story to one of hope and positivity and abundance and prosperity, then anything is possible. Because you've heard of people from third world countries that have managed to get out of those third world countries just because they changed their story. They changed that belief system that they couldn't be successful because of where they lived or where they existed. So what I recommend, scripting is incredibly powerful. And so what I recommend is for you to script down what your current story is. What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe your limited beliefs are? What do you believe that has made you the way that you are today? And then once you've done that, change that story and script out how you would like your life to be. What is the reality that you would like to exist in? I'm a massive fan and I do quantum jumping regularly. It is an advanced technique which actually allows you to move to different realities based on your perceptions, based on your beliefs, based on your connection with source. And it's something that anybody can do, and you can get to that place. And so the first thing you need to do is figure out what reality you want to live in. What is the story that you want to be telling yourself? Script that out, script a whole new story, and journal if you need to. Journal to help you change those beliefs. I journal every morning with how I'm feeling. And actually I have a spiritual journal where every morning I journal as to what I'm grateful for and how source has really helped me. And then throughout the day, if something happens, I journal it. And eventually in 12 months' time, that is going to be compiled into either a book or a course based on the experiences that I've had. And I recommend that you do something similar. There are many ways to change your belief systems. So remember, to change your story, you need to change your beliefs. And you also need to change your attitudes about different things. Change how you look at things. We will go into that in a little bit more in one of the following steps. But changing your belief system is really, really important. So there's many different ways. You can do that through self-hypnosis. You can do that through subliminal tracks. You can do that through lots of different ways, affirmations. But one way I like to do it is if you can find a story that opposes that belief. For instance, if you can find a story of somebody that has succeeded even in the midst of growing up poor or on the streets. I've got some incredible stories in the adversity section of this summit, which are people that have gone through adversity. Towards the end of this particular summit, there's one lady who actually went from living in her car because she was so poor to actually now earning like 6-figure incomes, possibly even 7 figures. So it can be done. Find stories that oppose the belief that you currently have, which will gradually change that belief. And then start to do meditations, guided meditations, and also affirmations that actually start to drive your new beliefs into your subconscious. So that's number 4, change your story. And also, when you change your story, it is important that you begin to act as if you're in that current reality. So you've changed the story from being someone that's living in scarcity to somebody that is wealthy and abundant. So it's important that you start to act as if you are wealthy and abundant. And I hear you saying right now, how can I do that if I don't have the money in the bank? Okay, well, the first thing I do is I don't look at my bank balance all the time, because I think that once you do that, then you're in a constant loop of negativity. You need to trust, which comes into the next step, trust that source has your back. And I'm going to go into that in a sec, but really acting as if is really, really important. And start to, you know, if you go out to the shops and you see something you really, really like, instead of saying, I can't afford that, how about what you say is, I'm going to come back for that. At a time that's right, I'm going to come back for that and I'm going to get that. And honestly believe it, because it will happen. But this takes us to step 5, which is to build a trust and a connection with source and not doubt that source is going to come through for you. Because source is our greatest friend. Our higher part of ourselves believes in nothing but the best, the most abundant, the most healthy, the most prosperous person that it possibly can. It does not believe in any negativity. It does not believe in any doubt. And so it only believes in the good in you. And it is there 100% to have your back. As long as you don't doubt it happening, then it will manifest into your life. The moment you start to put doubt or fear or any of those lower vibration emotions into it, then that will cancel out the manifestation, because it doesn't allow you to get closer to the vortex. In order for us to take stuff out of the vortex, we need to be close enough and to be pulled into it so that we can do that. And the moment we start to doubt it, or to lose our connection to source, or to stop trusting what the universe has for us, to stop trusting that source is going to look after us, that he's going to look after us 100%, and that whatever we need in this world is available to us. We are put on this earth to prosper. We are put on this earth to be wealthy. We are put on this earth to live the best life that we can, have all the experiences that we need to have, and to enjoy life. The greatest gift that we can give our higher self is to live in state of joy. And so we need to trust that source is there for us, and that everything we've put into the vortex is available to us at any time that we require it. We can't get impatient, because one thing you need to remember is that we have two things that are in our control. That is what we're wanting to manifest and why we're wanting to manifest it. And why you're wanting to manifest it is really important, because once you figure that out, then you can attach the emotions and the feelings towards it, which actually allows you to become excited about the manifestation, or to really visualize it coming to you. And that's why it's really important that we know what the why is. But you've got to understand that how it gets to us and when it gets to us is not our decision. It will come to us in divine timing, when source decides that it is the right time for us, that is going to be of the most benefit to us. And how it comes to us is also not our business, because the moment we start dictating how it's going to come to us, it messes up the whole plans of the universe. It makes it difficult for the universe to put it all together. And all of a sudden, it's got one avenue to get it to you. Whereas the universe has unlimited avenues of getting money to you, for instance, of inspiring you to get optimal health, of changing relationships around you. There are multiple unlimited ways of doing that. But the moment you tell it how you want it to come, for instance, winning the lottery, or getting so many sales with this, or whatever it is, you can put that out there, because that can be a manifestation goal of yours. But don't dictate how something's going to arrive. That's up to source as to how that happens. So build that trust and build that connection and watch what happens. So that's step number 5. We get to step number 6. Now, this is one of the most important steps out there, and that is to make your vibration top priority above anything else. And the reason for this is because if you don't do this, then you are not able to get into that vortex. You're not able to get into that place of unlimited positive potentiality. And believe me, when you're in that space of unlimited love, and that space of unlimited potential and success and prosperity and abundance, once you're in that space, there is nothing like it. You are deeply connected to source. You are close to source. You are one with your superconscious. And when you are in that space, things start to flow. You start to find that all of these ideas come to you. You start to find that source is working through you, just as it is with this talk. I am doing this keynote, but the words are coming out and I'm not having to think about it, because source is bringing it through me. So making vibration your top priority is key. And it is really important to find things that you love to do. Find activities that you enjoy. If you like music, then listen to music. If you like to dance, then dance. If you like to sing, sing, no matter who doesn't like it. And it's really, really important that you make that top priority. Change how you see things. Change how you perceive things. Remember that our perceptions create our reality, and that the only person we have control of is ourselves and our vibration. And we are of no good to anybody else if we are not in that state, because we can only access the good when we're in the vortex. So it's really important that you don't bring yourself down to the vibration of somebody else. Allow them to come up to meet you. And what you'll find is that if you're at a higher vibration, then those that are of a lower vibration may find it uncomfortable to be around you for a while, but gradually that will build up, and you'll start to find that that the people in the environment are much happier and more calm, because the energy surrounding them will be very different. So make your vibration top priority. If you start to perceive things as being negative, then really pick yourself up on it and recognize that everything happens for a reason, and try and find the lesson to be learned in it. And so that's step number 6. It is critically important. If you're wanting to manifest, you need to make that top priority. Listen to Abraham Hicks' videos, because she goes into vibration so much, and also the vortex and bringing stuff out of your vortex. That is her thing. And it is absolutely incredible. So make your vibration top priority, no matter how it makes anybody else feel. Some people may start saying to you that you're acting selfish, or all you think about is yourself. But at that point, it's like, yes, because I need to make myself top priority, because then it's going to allow me to be on even more understanding towards other people. And to make your vibration top priority, it's really important that you try and keep yourself at those vibrations that are highest, like joy and love and excitement and fulfillment and enthusiasm and all those higher vibratory emotions. And that's not to say that you're not going to have some experiences where you're in the lower vibrations. We all do. We're all human. And all it is about is just trying to just lift yourself to one level up, and then one level up. And you don't have to go from anxious and depressed all the way up to joyful and enthusiastic in one go. That is a really big jump, and it's very difficult for you to move that quickly, but it can be an incremental step up. So it's it's all about making your vibration top priority. Step number 7 is to love all, and that's including yourself. Self-love is critically important. If you can't love yourself, 1, how are other people going to be able to? And 2, it sends out a signal to the universe. It sends out a signal to source that you don't believe that you deserve what it is that you're wanting to manifest. So have that self-love for yourself. Forgive yourself for whatever you may have done in your life. That, get rid of those emotions like shame and guilt and all those lower emotions, and recognize that once you're connected to source, then everything that happens is guided through source. And so you don't need to feel bad about it. Now, what's really important to understand though, is that building this connection is the first key. And as Abraham Hicks says, when you have any negativity, when you have any fear or any of the lower emotions, that's actually because you are disconnected from your higher self. That's because your higher self, who believes in nothing bad about you, disagrees with how you're feeling in that particular moment. So if you're feeling angry about something, then that will be completely opposite to what source is thinking, which is why you are feeling bad. So it's really important to understand that it's okay to have those emotions, but try and build yourself up and recognize that source loves you, and you need to love yourself. And on top of that, you need to love everybody else. We need to love other people and accept them for who they are. Accept them for being on their own journey. Stop trying to change other people. Stop trying to dictate how somebody else is supposed to live, and instead allow them to go on their own journey. Know that they have their own source that is with them, that is guiding them every step of the way. We may not agree with everything that they do. We may not agree with things that are happening outside of us, because we look outside of us, but we also bring to us what we expect. So if you're wanting to change how somebody is around you, then you need to expect something different from them. You need to see them in a different light. Focus, if somebody's making you angry, then focus on their positive points. Focus on the points that you're wanting to bring more of, and then more of that will start to come to you instead of the things that are upsetting you. So stop judgment, Judgment is one of the lower emotions that you can experience. Stop judging others for who they are and accept them for who they are. And also forgive those that have done wrong by you. Because remember, forgiveness is not about the other person. It is about you. It is about letting go of those lower emotions. It's about letting go of your past story and starting to retell that new story. So forgiveness is one of the primary things I recommend when it comes to manifesting. And if you're experiencing any health issues whatsoever, then often that is a result of emotions you haven't expressed or forgiveness that you have not yet put out. So that's just an added little tip, is that if you are experiencing any health issues, start to look at that and start to really write down who it is that may have hurt you that you haven't been able to forgive, or what you haven't been able to forgive. And that could also be yourself. And let go of it. Know that Source loves you 100% and is with you 100% and does not think badly of you and accepts your mistakes. You need to accept that too, and recognize that none of us are perfect and we make mistakes, and that's all part of our learning experience. So then we go to number 8, and that's to respond, don't react. Okay, now being a mum, I'm a mum of 2 teenagers. And up until recently, it was about reaction. It's about, okay, they say something and you react back. And I learned that when I did that, my vibration really sucked. I lowered my vibration so low that you end up going into a cycle of both of us being angry at each other and not being able to actually get a positive outcome. Once you start to change that to responding and to really protecting that vibration and really staying at that higher level and not reacting to things that people say and not reacting to how other people feel. And me being an empath, I have had to learn how to really manage my emotions and manage the emotions that come towards me. And so it's really important that you learn how to keep your vibration high and not take other people's emotions and feelings and how they're living their life and putting it on yourself. So it's important to respond to them with love and care and understanding, but don't react to them in a way that is going to keep fueling that particular fire. Step number 9, let go of the outcome. We've put all of this into the vortex. Everything's in the vortex. We're ready to pull it out. We're ready to allow it to happen. So what we need to do first, we need to let go of the outcome. We need to forget about the manifestation. We can focus on it. We can script it. I like to script it over and over again so that it's in my subconscious mind, but don't become reliant on it. Don't become so set on it that you're going to be unhappy if it doesn't happen. Because the primary thing you need to remember, apart from keeping your vibrations high, is that you need to be happy in your body. You need to be happy in the situation you're in now. So in order for something else to happen, in order for you to manifest, in order for something else to come into your life, you have to be happy where you are. And once you're happy where you are, then more things to be happy about will flow to you. So let go of the outcome and know that it will happen. You follow these steps, it will happen. It will come into your life. As long as you don't doubt it, as long as you know that it's coming, as long as you manage those vibrations, you don't react, and all of the other steps that I've put in there, it will happen. But you need to let go, continue living your life, continue visualizing it happening, but don't become attached to the outcome. So, and then we get to number 10, step number 10, and that's, you know what? Allow, receive, and enjoy the manifestation, because now you put everything else into place, then it's just time to enjoy it. It's come to you. It's now in physical form. Remember, you have experienced it already because you're living that life. You're living the life as though you've already been in there. You've attached the feelings and the emotions to that you're wanting to manifest. You have your list created. You have already lived that experience. And now, once you've lived the experience in the vibrational realm, in the daydreaming realm, then it's coming to physical reality, and it's like you've already been there. And so the experience is truly remarkable. but it's time now to allow, to receive, and to enjoy it. Now, one thing I will say about that is that a lot of us have difficulty allowing. A lot of us have difficulty receiving. And so how many times has somebody offered to buy us a coffee and we've said, no, it's okay, I'll pay? That's telling the universe that you're not wanting to receive anything. How many times have we gone past a 10-cent coin on the street because we thought, oh, it's just 10 cents? Well, I never do that. If I see money, no matter how much it is, it could be a 5-cent coin, I pick it up and I say thank you to the universe for blessing me with this money. It brings more and more money to you. It shows the universe you appreciate what you already have, because this is what's really important. In order to allow and to receive and to be in those high vibrations, gratitude is really, really important. So I want you to integrate gratitude into your life. Write gratitude into your journal. Think of things that you're grateful for. Be in that space of high vibration, that space of gratitude, that space of, I know everything is working out for me. I know everything is coming for me. And then you will start to see more and more things to be grateful for come to you. But allowing and being open to receiving is really important if you're wanting to manifest in your life. So start to, if somebody offers you something, take it and say thank you. It is really, really important, because it shows the universe that you are open to receiving, so it can send all of this stuff to you. So that is my 10 steps. Now, as I said, I've briefly gone through it all, but in my Mastering Manifestation course, which will be up in the next few months, it will be in much greater depth. There will be lots of activities and stuff for you to do, and it will be a lot of fun. So definitely go and sign up for the Inner Circle at the Superconscious Success site, and I will let you know as soon as it becomes available. And then I will also give you an incredible discount on the launch price of the particular course. So I hope that you have enjoyed this keynote. I hope that I've done it justice. I know I spoke fast, but Source was going straight through me, and I was on a roll, and I was excited, and I'm sorry if I spoke too fast, but I hope you got a lot of value out of it, and I look forward to seeing you at the end, towards the end of the summit, where I'm actually going to be talking to you about, it's going to be about the whole concept of us being eternal beings. I'm going to be talking about 2 experiences where I almost died, my 2 near-death experiences, but I'm also going to be talking about how we are eternal and how we are non-physical, living a physical experience. And so there's going to be a lot more on spirituality and that sort of thing in my talk. I think it's on the 24th, day 24 of this particular, no, day 34 of this particular summit on the 4th of May. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And that will be a great way to start to wrap up this particular summit. Don't forget, I've got 2 more summits coming up. I have 6 a year. So I've got one summit that's coming up in June, which is on health and wellness. So we're going to be talking a lot about quantum healing and also other aspects of health and wellness as well. And then in July, I've got the Conscious Parenting Summit. So if you're a parent and you're wanting to know more about conscious parenting and how you can really help your child to develop into the person that they are designed to be, then that is the summit for you. Towards the end of the year, we've also got one that's specifically on manifestation. So we're going to have a lot of quantum physicists there, and we're going to have lots of different content on the vortex and all the other amazing stuff, other techniques you can use to help manifest, etc., etc. I've got one that is going to be on spiritual entrepreneurship. If you're an entrepreneur, then the spiritual entrepreneurship one is really going to be incredible, because that's where I've got a lot of entrepreneurs that, like me, they allow Source to work through them to help them figure out exactly what they need to do in their business, so that they can, you know, intuitively work, so that they can allow Source to guide them and know exactly what they need to do. Instead of taking forced action, they take inspired action, and that's going to be incredible. And then at the end of the year, for my final summit of 2021, I have a spirituality summit. That's a 40 speaker summit, or be 38 speakers plus me and my co-host, that we are going to delve deep into all aspects of spirituality. We will have some shamans on there. We will have some quantum physicists. We'll have a whole collection of people that are really going to come together to help you delve deep into spirituality. So that's what's on board. I hope you enjoyed this keynote, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. And until then, enjoy the rest of the talks.